and foremost, just because there was so much. But let's talk about Jai Opetaia defending his cruiserweight championship, the lineal championship, and his world title against Jack Massey. What did you think of that result, and what do you want to have happen next?
So I said last week, and this isn't a I told you so, but Jai Opetaia is a serious operator. He is one of the most determined fighters out there, and I thought he'd be too much for Jack Massey, and that's exactly what he was. Massey gave it everything. He left everything in the ring. He put his heart and soul into every shot which he threw, and he really did. He really did try, but I thought that Joe Gallagher was right to get involved and pull him out of the fight. And I guess Chris Billam Smith's got to come through Zerdo, and then that fight between Jai Opetaia and Chris Billam Smith can happen, and I hope that can happen in the UK, because that will be a real good atmosphere for that one, especially with Chris's fan base. So for those in the US who aren't too aware of Chris, maybe, or how football and boxing come together, is a lot of good boxers have been clever, and they've linked themselves to football clubs, because in their fan base then goes along with the fighter. So that it's happened like with Ricky Hatton and Manchester City. So when he fought Floyd Mayweather, you'll remember Floyd Mayweather coming out with that Manchester United top, and lots of fighters have done it, like Josh Warrington with Leeds, and Chris Billam Smith, he's from Bournemouth, and Bournemouth AFC are in the Premiership, or the Premier League even. And the fans they're massive on Chris Billam Smith. So it's the sort of fight which could end up at the Vitality Stadium. And I was lucky enough to be there when Chris Billam Smith beat Lawrence Okoli to win that WBO cruiserweight title. So that's what I hope happens with that one. But yeah, it went as expected.
Yeah, and so Billam Smith has that November fight versus Gilberto Ramirez. That'll be a unification bout. We were just talking with the light heavyweights about mandatory challengers, and unfortunately, Opetaia owes a mandatory to a really undeserving challenger. So it'll be interesting to see whether he takes that fight or if he forgoes the IBF belt to try to make a unification bout with the winner of Billam Smith versus Ramirez. I wonder, though, if he forgoes that belt and can't immediately come to terms with either Billam Smith or Ramirez, does he lose leverage, given the fact that it wouldn't be a unification bout anymore? He'd still be the lineal champ, but those belts, in a way, still do matter. Time will tell with that. We have seen with the IBF just some of these titles get vacated just because the champion doesn't want to face the mandatory challenger. Canelo getting rid of the IBF instead of William Skoll. And not to malign Daniel Dubois, but I understood why Alexander Usyk got rid of the IBF title, given that he owed the mandatory rematch to Tyson Fury instead of facing Dubois in a rematch of that fight. Let's talk about